Flynn's Keychain is back with another port of a popular arcade game, and that game is Defender, this time for your Intellivision. Let's go ahead and take Defender, let's pop it in my Intellivision, see how it holds up today, let's go to the game. Defender was published by Atari and is based on the popular 1981 Williams arcade game. According to the old Blue Sky Rangers website, this port was released in 1983. Moby Games lists Peter Farson doing the main programming, who really isn't credited with much else, Eric Wells doing the graphics, and Russ Half doing the sound, with that last pair doing the same for the Intellivision ports of Pac-Man and Centipede. The manual opens with the following. Mission Defender. Aliens from a distant solar system are swarming over the planet Humanus. They're kidnapping humanoids and mutating them into a permanent part of the alien force. Their mission is to transform all humanoids before destroying the entire planet. First, they infest the planet with landers, which close in on the planet, abducting the humanoids. Then the attack intensifies. Baiters, swarmers, and bombers terrorize the skies. And then, when you least expect it, a deadly pod collides with your spaceship and blasts you to pieces. Alrighty then, that sounds encouraging. Defender is a free-moving, horizontally scrolling shooter for one player only with one standard mode of difficulty. The game did not originally come with an overlay, but the controls aren't that complicated. You move the ship with the disc, using the upper side buttons for your limited use smart bombs, using the lower side buttons for your standard gun, which could shoot up to 3 quick shots per press, and press any of the numeric keys while not touching the disc for hyperspace, which will place you randomly somewhere else on the level. I will mention that pressing more than one button on the side and the keypad can cause interesting effects, such as pressing both lower side buttons to activate a smart bomb. On the top, going from left to right, you can see your extra ships in reserve, smart bombs remaining, scoring, and the radar, which is both cool and helpful. Throughout the levels are stranded people you need to protect. If they are picked up by an enemy lander, you may hear a sound effect. If you destroy the lander before they go off screen, the person will fall back to Earth. If they were low enough, they can land safely by themselves. Otherwise, you could try to touch them to pick them up, with the manual stating that you could carry more than one at once, and touch the ground to return them. You get 500 points for catching them, and 500 points if they land safely on the ground, either because their fall wasn't too far, or because you returned them yourself. If the lander reaches the top of the screen with a humanoid, they will turn into an aggressive attacking mutant. If all the humanoids on a level are killed, as you could shoot them with your guns, or transformed into mutants, the ground will explode, and you will need to deal with a mutant-filled, human-free level for the next several rounds until the ground returns with new humanoids. Landers can also warp around the top and bottom of the screen, but you cannot. However, thankfully, you won't crash into the ground either. In addition to landers and mutants, you could face square-shaped bombers that lay mines, pods that when destroyed release a bunch of tiny swarmers, and baiters that look like UFOs and show up if you take too long. If you clear the level of every enemy minus the baiters, you can move on to the next stage, gaining bonus points for every surviving humanoid, starting at 100 points per humanoid for the first stage and increasing by 100 points each successive stage, maxing out at 500 points. You also get various points for defeating the various enemies. The manual unfortunately does not break it down for you, but if it follows the standard Defender scoring, that would be 150 points per lander, mutant, and swarmer, 200 points for the baiters, 250 points for the bombers, and 1,000 points for the pods. You earn an extra ship and a smart bomb every 10,000 points. Run out of lives from being blasted or crashing into things, and your game is over with no option to continue. You can, however, activate what appears to be unlimited lives and get a whole bunch of smart bombs by doing the following. With the game on, using the right controller, press and hold down 1, 5, 9, and enter on the keypad, along with up and left on the disc, and then press reset. If done right, you should see a garbled mess that includes Peter Farson's initials. Pressing any key on the left controller at this point will start a game with unlimited lives and a stockpile of smart bombs. The graphics and sounds are both very well done for a Defender port, with the explosions being the best part of the graphics in my humble opinion. Family friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating if released today. Currently at PriceCharting.com, the game has a value of $25 loose, $63 complete, and $78 new. So what do I think of Defender on the Intellivision? Is it worth playing today? I'm going to say yes. This is a case where I think Atari did a better job with the Intellivision port than the 2600 port. The graphics and sounds are both well done and the game is pretty fun too. But this version is tough. Simply getting past the third wave can be a real challenge. The swarmers can be a real nuisance and tough to hit. And your ship accelerates so fast it can be hard to catch a falling humanoid. Your standard guns probably should have been mapped to the top side buttons and given a true auto fire, as pressing the side buttons over and over gave me physical discomfort. This is definitely one of those games where I prefer to use a joystick over the Intellivision controller. And trying to use the hyperspace felt cumbersome to the point that I pretty much avoided using it. But despite the drawbacks, this is still a good port and it's worth playing, especially for Intellivision fans, and one I personally wouldn't mind playing more in the future. So where am I going to rank Defender among the other Intellivision games I previously reviewed? This is going in my top 20. I do like Sub Hunt more at 15, but I do like the action of Defender a little bit more than Lock and Chase at 16. So the 66 games are now ranked for the Mattel Intellivision. Defender is hyperspacing into the 16th position. It's not perfect, but Defender is a solid port on the Intellivision. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Do you like this game? Do you have any memories of it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy videos such as this one and you want to support my work, please click like and subscribe, drop a comment below, and for mega supporters, either become a channel member or sign up at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to see you next time in the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody.